Unfortunately, it has happened. The Detroit Pistons have gone winless for over a full month. That's right, they have not won a game since October 28th. They went the entire month of November losing, and not just like one way or the other, not just getting blown out, not just, close games. It's been a variety of games, even tonight against the Knicks, to seal the 15th straight loss for the team was, a close game. They had the lead in the fourth quarter. And I think this speaks to probably larger issues and what the larger issues with this team might be. And I got to be honest, I don't really know where they go from here because it feels like the results that I'm seeing do not match the pieces involved, the players that are on the court, the coaching staff, everything about this team. Like, they should be like the OKC Thunder. Maybe not quite as good yet, but they should be at least the Orlando Magic. Like, they should be that surprise team that's putting it together with all of the young players they have. And for some reason, it is just not working. So I think it can boil down to a couple big issues and really just a clashing of philosophies, because they went out in the offseason and they gave Monty Williams $80 million to be their head coach. $80 million. I believe it is the richest coaching contract in history. He is the highest paid coach by far, and he's not someone who is going to sacrifice games in the name of development. Like, if you were to say, hey, bench the veterans tonight, we're playing the young guys a little bit more, he's not going to go for it. He is a win every game, as many games as possible, all year long. He does not believe in the tank. He is an old school coach like that, and he likes to play his veterans, often to the detriment of those younger players and their development. And the Pistons are a team that should be as focused as possible on developing all of the young players they have so they can see what they have. And they need to make some tough decisions very soon. And the issue here is they're probably not going to involve letting go of the $80 million coach that they just hired this last offseason. So it's probably going to result in some unpopular decisions amongst the fan base, if I had to guess, because there's no way they're going to want to be paying him that contract and then also bringing in another coach to take this on. So it's probably going to turn to the players, and I don't really think the players have all been that bad. I think it's a good collection of talent. I think there's a lot of potential across the roster. They're just not really getting a chance to shine. Jaden Ivey was up and down with his minutes. He has gotten more as of late, and he has produced pretty steadily. But the biggest issue here is outside of Cade, they don't really have a whole lot of producers and scoring options on the court that can get their own shot, that can create for others, that can do the things that you need to keep an offense moving. And with his jump shot not exactly being like lights out, it's just that much more compounded. Now, they have played this entire season so far without Bojan Bogdanovic, who is supposedly going to make his season debut this Saturday against the Cavaliers. And that should give them a boost because he fits exactly what they need, which is a wing player who can score on his own and can create for others. So he takes a little bit of the stress off of Cade. He can keep the offensive moving a little bit better with the bench unit and the reserves compared to like a Killian Hayes, who I'm going to probably say some things soon here about Killian Hayes, and I don't want it to sound like everything is his fault, because I don't think everything is his fault. I think it's just a matter of, it shows what one pick that doesn't fit the rest of the roster can do to a team and how it can really set it back. So anyway, Bojan Bogdanovic should be back this Saturday. And while that's a big help, he is a veteran player that is probably going to be trade bait by January. And bringing him back means you're probably going to cut into the minutes of Ivy, Ausar Thompson, Isaiah Livers, Marcus Sasser, these players who have, looked good in moments. Ausar Thompson is arguably the second best player on the Pistons already behind Cade. And, he just got like 16, 17 minutes tonight against the Knicks for no reason. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't play a versatile defender who can grab boards. Like, there was one point I looked and he had played like 10 minutes and had like 8 rebounds and a steal or something crazy like that. That dude is all energy. So Bojan Bogdanovic coming back is going to help in the short term, but it's going to take away from those players, and it's going to take away the opportunity for the coaching staff and the GM and the front office to be able to evaluate what they have and what they need to do. So to me, looking at this roster, the 4 players that I think would be untouchable would be Cade, Osar Thompson, Jalen Duren, and Jaden Ivey. I think those are 4 strong building blocks. I have seen some people say trade Cade while you can and get whatever value you can, and I don't think that's a good idea. I know the results have not been there, but I think Cade's size, his versatility, his ability to create, if you surround him with a little bit better talent and a little bit more consistency and an offense that kind of suits his style, I really think he can be one of those top Eastern Conference point guards. So I think you hang on to those 4, and then you do whatever you get whatever you can for guys like Isaiah Stewart, Bojan Bogdanovic. I think, I understand the risk, I understand the thought in trading for guys like Marvin Bagley and James Wiseman, but it's risk. It's high risk, low reward, really. If the Golden State Warriors can't turn someone into a piece that fits their style and their offense, if that coaching staff and that team can't make it work, I don't think there's a lot of hope for other teams to really make it work immediately, like a plug and play type thing. So I see what they were going for, but it just hasn't been the right fit. Those dudes are getting garbage time minutes right now. James Wiseman, I believe, has an NBA title. He is an NBA champion, and he is playing he's getting DMP coach decision and playing those garbage time minutes. So they have taken these big swings that have just not worked out. And unfortunately, Killian Hayes is probably the biggest example of this. Killian Hayes was the 7th overall pick in 2020. And I understand part of the argument on 2020 and why it might have been a shakier draft class than others is because of all of the COVID restrictions and everything. There was a lot less scouting and a lot less opportunity to get to know these draft picks and this draft class. So Killian Hayes goes 7th overall to the Pistons, which, okay, not the best offensive player, but he was coming in as a playmaker and as a menace on defense. That was his thing, was he was going to run the opposing team's guard ragged. He was going to wear them out and shut them down. And okay, I can get behind that. The players picked right after Killian Hayes at 7 are Obi Toppin at 8, Denny Advia at 9, Jalen Smith, Devin Vassell at 11, Tyrese Halliburton at 12, Kira Lewis Jr., Aaron Nesmith, Cole Anthony, Isaiah Stewart, who was traded to the Pistons, Pokuševski, Josh Green, Sadiq Bey, also traded to the Pistons, Precious Achiuwa, Tyrese Maxey, and it just goes on and on. Jaden McDaniels at 28, Desmond Bane at 30. All of these guys could be a good second mate, a good shooting guard to Cade, but instead they opted for a defensive player. They opted for, okay, we'll go less on offense. Cade had not been drafted yet, so they picked Hayes to be the lead guard, and it just has not worked. Even in the 6th-man role, his shooting just has not been there. And worse than that, his defense right now isn't even really living up to his reputation. He is supposed to be a lockdown defender, and currently he is ranked 211th in the league. Now, this is a little skewed because there are players who are up near the top of the list in defensive rating that have only played a handful of games. So you could probably say he might be closer to 205, 200, but still, the defensive specialist that you drafted 7th overall ahead of some really nice lead guards or second guards is 211th, just behind Dante DiVincenzo, Kevon Looney, and Yuta Watanabe, and just ahead of Royce O'Neal, Jonathan Kuminga, Zaire Williams, Cody Zeller, and Dennis Smith Jr. So, like I said, this is not all a blame Killian Hayes type of thing. That's not what I'm saying. It just was not the right pick for what this team was going to need. And it just kind of speaks to the lack of cohesion that they've had for years now. So now they have these great players, and they are just not putting it together. Whether it's a philosophy thing, whether it's late game management, and Monty Williams not playing to his guys' strengths well enough, it is just not working. Something is not working, and it is unfortunate for Pistons fans because this is a young, fun team that, well, they should be a young, fun team that you are excited to watch, and instead, the last month has been basically just waking up expecting to lose. And that's a terrible spot to be in for a fan base, for a franchise, for those players. So I would expect the Pistons to probably do something pretty soon. I would hope it's nothing drastic like trading like a Cade or, I don't think they would trade Asar or Jalen. I don't know about Jaden Ivey. I do think that would be a mistake. But like I said, nothing would surprise me. I don't know where the value for this team is as far as like trades would be outside of Boyan and Isaiah Stewart and maybe one of those other four that I kind of look at as, as like the pillars of the team. So another problem here is their schedule does not get much easier. They got the Cavs on Saturday. They're playing the Grizzlies on Wednesday, which maybe they could pull that one out. That might be the one where they break the streak. And if not, they are running down a murderer's row after that. They got the Magic, the Pacers, the Sixers, the Bucks, the Hawks, the Jazz, the Nets, the Celtics, the Raptors. It just goes on and on. The league is in such a good spot that it's hard to predict where, they might be able to get off of this losing streak that they've been on. It's hard to imagine when and how they're going to be able to turn it around. They need guys to step up. And who knows, maybe I'll hop on Saturday after they play and Bojan Bogdanovic has completely unlocked this Monty Williams offense in a way that they just could not do before without him. But even then, like I said, it's tough because then that puts them in the spot of, well, they're taken away from the development of these young players who are going to be with the team probably, in 2 months, in 3 months. So I really am at a loss with this team. I don't know what the answer is going to be. I don't think there is one answer, and that's probably the worst part, is because you would like to think like, oh, they're one move, they're one piece, they're one adjustment away after all of these seasons of high draft picks and all of these losses, and unfortunately it just does not look like it. So Pistons fans, if anyone is seeing this as a Pistons fan, please let me know your thoughts in the comments, what the vibe is like in the city, what you kind of are hoping the team might do, what you're looking to see. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Appreciate everyone watching this. Enjoy the weekend, and I will see you soon.